All right, welcome to episode 3 of the Zenith Endurance Podcast. Our guest this week is Mikah Peters of Brandon Valley High School. Be sure to listen along the whole time to gather some cool insight into what makes his up-and-coming running career so successful. I think you'll really enjoy it, so thanks for tuning in. Enjoy. All right, everybody, welcome to episode 3 of the Zenith Endurance Podcast. My name is Derek Edel.
I'm Rod.
And today joining us is Mikah from Brandon Valley High School. Mikah, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys so much.
So, for those of you who don't know him, he is currently a freshman on the Brandon Valley High School track cross-country roster. Brandon Valley has had a really successful last couple years, and so we wanted to have him join us today to share his experience and what it's been like running, at a pretty high level in the state of South Dakota. So let's just jump right into it. Mikah, what got you into running in the first place, and what made you so passionate about it?
I think the first thing that got me into running was about in third grade, we had this run at the end of the year where third and fourth graders would race each other in a mile run. And at the time, the PE teacher was the cross-country coach, and he saw, whoa, you just in fourth grade, I ran a 5:56 mile, and he was like, whoa, that's like, you should join the cross-country team. And a couple years passed, and I was able to join it, and yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Third, fourth grade, I don't think I would ever consider running a mile. Maybe during a pickup football game, but just running, no thanks.
Yeah, that sounds so far.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it sounds like you had a good kind of group around you helping you foster that right at the beginning. That's huge. Not everybody gets that early a start, so that's really cool that you're able to do that. So did you then move into, what was your progress like through cross country and track in middle school then?
In middle school, I started out just running by myself. I didn't really know anyone. None of my friends ran or anything like that, so the only choice was to meet the upperclassmen, and I started running with the upperclassmen and got better as I went on, and managed to get on the JV team my 7th grade year and kind of progressed from there.
Awesome. What kind of workouts would you then attribute to kind of the success you had? You got a bread and butter style workouts that you gravitate towards?
Yeah, what's the typical mileage for you guys too?
Right now in the off season, I'm hitting about 30 miles a week with a tempo run or a workout somewhere thrown in there. And there's a after school thing that my coaches have set up. I've been doing that every Tuesday and Thursday, then going home and running my 5 miles or whatever it is after that. So
awesome. What kind of stuff do you do on those Tuesday and Thursday sessions?
It's more of speed work. So there's a lot of sprinters that go to that. This Tuesday we did stair work up the hill, or up the stairs I meant, and we do hurdle stretches every single day before. So it kind of helps because I'm not very flexible, and doing those hurdle stretches are very helpful.
Yeah, you're talking to new marathoners here. Let me tell you, flexibility is not our strong point, unfortunately. So we feel you there.
Yeah.
So then, besides the running, are there any other sports that you participate in, or is cross country and track, those are your two main ones?
Actually, I wrestled for about 10 years. Started kindergarten year and got to 7th grade, and I fractured my foot in wrestling. So, or it was 8th grade year, I fractured my foot in wrestling, and all throughout my track season, I had a fractured foot and just didn't get to fulfill my 8th grade track season.
That's kind of a bummer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about your progress coming back from that? How did you come back, and are you at full speed now?
Yeah. So right now I'm all perfect. Like nothing else happens. It just started out with like a clicking almost in my foot, and middle of wrestling season went to go get an X-ray, and it was fractured. And it wasn't that long of a recovery. I came back to track season, and I think I missed like one or two meets, and then I was just back in action. So it didn't affect me too much.
That's awesome. So, are you calling it quits then on wrestling, or is that still something that you have a passion for?
Yeah, my parents didn't like the decision, but last year I called it quits on the wrestling season.
Well, I understand their concerns, but
Yeah.
I think there's one thing to be said about being well-rounded, but there's also one thing to be said about finding your passion and really chasing after it. So I think both can certainly be valid. Definitely depends on the person. So I think you're on the right track.
Yep.
Yeah, getting in a lot of work over the winter is going to pay off a lot.
Yeah. This winter, it's kind of been hard with all the snow, and I've been running inside, and that's just like mentally draining sometimes. Like it's hard to step on that treadmill every single day. I just want to get outside so bad. And the other day I tried to run outside, and it's just so icy and tripping all the time. And yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The treadmill is tough, isn't it? It's I chalk it up to mental toughness. If you can do that for a whole winter, um, there's not a lot mentally that I don't think you can't handle.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, let's move ahead a little bit and talk about cross country last year. So for those of you who don't know, 605 Running Company, we had a team out at the Augie Twilight Cross Country Meet. And, it's such an awesome event. For those of you who have the opportunity to either run in it or spectate, highly recommend if you get the chance. Such a fun event. The reason I bring it up is because I had the pleasure to actually watch Mikah race at the meet. So could you tell us a little bit about your cross country season as a whole, and maybe how Augie Twilight went for you, what you thought of that?
Augie Twilight is just such an awesome meet. I mean, every year I've done it, it's just so fun before and after and during the race. I mean, the people there, you get to see everyone and all the lights, and I like the music the most, and it's just a fun race. And that was actually the race that I had my PR for the season of 16:21 for the 5K. And the rest of the season, there was actually only one race that I really regret, and it was Watertown. I ran like an 18-minute, and that was one that kind of hurt. I stepped in a hole right away in the race and kind of popped something right here in my side, and rest of the race just kind of fell apart.
Was it anything long lasting, or was it just kind of like a pulled muscle or something?
It went on for about 3-4 days. I had a couple of days where I just didn't run, and then went to the doctor. She said, "You'll be fine by tomorrow." And it went away, and I was perfectly fine for the rest of the season.
That's good to hear.
Hmm.
So yeah, let's just talk a little bit then about the season that Brandon Valley High School had. Just looking at some of the results, I see. If I'm reading this right, you had second place at conference. Is that right?
Yep.
Which is huge, and 10th place at state.
Yep.
So man, that's those are huge accomplishments for the team. What is it like running on a team that you guys are super competitive? What's that team dynamic like?
This year we really focused on the being nice to each other and helping each other reach our goals. And we all ran with each other. We all talked to each other about what we're working on. And this was the year that most of us actually focused on writing down what you did every single day, what you're eating every day, and just being consistent with everything, if you know what I mean.
That's awesome. Is that something that coach prescribed, or was that like a team dynamic thing that you just kind of thought up, or how did that happen?
We kind of just like thought it up a little bit. The past couple years, there was a couple of fights or whatever, but we decided that this was going to be our year, and we just kind of kept it consistent and went out good.
What's the like age of the team? Are you guys like you have a lot of upperclassmen? Are most of the guys like your age, or give us some insight into that?
Right now, we had 2 freshmen on our varsity team, and then the rest were juniors and seniors. So they're like an older team, I'd say. But we have some really good 8th graders and 7th graders coming in that I think are going to show some people up.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're getting to learn from those upperclassmen. They're teaching you great habits and how to build a great team.
Yep.
And so when we're talking about the second place at conference, 10th place at state, I was also looking at, that was the boys team. I was also looking at the girls team results, and I see first place at conference for the girls and second at state. Is that right?
Yep.
Man, that's huge. Like, to have 2 teams, both the boys and girls, that are so competitive, that's huge. How much crossover does that have? Do you have like healthy competition between the 2 of you? Like, hey, we crushed you guys, so you got to catch up, or how does that work?
Yeah, we had a good relationship. The girls did phenomenal. I mean, they just went out and won like every meet, and it was just crazy. I mean, they definitely showed some motivation for us guys, and we really worked together. We did our workouts together, us and the girls, and did some long runs together and had a good relationship with them as well.
That's awesome. It can only help to bounce those types of things off each other, and just, a rising tide lifts all ships kind of thing, and bring success to the whole program. That's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
So for your season, do you guys have meets every single week?
Yeah, we had a lot of meets this year. I remember we had like 2 meets in a span of 1 week one time. It was a Huron meet and one other one. And it was a lot of meets, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, I wasn't mad about having a lot of meets this year.
So how do you decide, I guess, which races you're gonna really prepare for, and which races you're more so just practicing? Is that something that that's a conversation that your coach initiates, or that you guys kind of decide amongst yourselves, like, hey, we really just want to show up for conference and state? Like, how do you practice that race pace and make sure you stay healthy throughout the whole season?
Mm-hmm. There's definitely some meets where we would, I guess, like try harder, if you would say, like at the Huron meet that wasn't state. I think that we just wanted to get out there and see like where we would sit at state, because that's where that was going to be. And like Yankton Trails was our conference meet, and I think that we really went out and focused on our races there more than any other one.
Awesome. That I think there's also something said about practice and gaining race experience, not just the fitness aspect, but like learning pacing and learning, do I want to go out with the front pack, or do we want to run together as a team, all those sorts of things. So, as long as you're not overdoing it too much, gaining that experience is huge, especially I think at your guys' age, like on top of the fact that it's just fun, like you race cross country, you race track because you like racing. So it's cool that you get to experience that so much and have a lot of fun doing it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So got to ask, given that you go to a lot of meets all over the place, you get plenty of time to hang out with the crew. Do you have any like funny stories from maybe like in the bus or at the team tent? Funny stuff that's happened to you.
Now that I'm thinking about it, in seventh grade, the first day of practice, we had a little time trial. Everyone on our team had a time trial, and I thought I'd be Mr. Cool Guy and go out fast in the warm up, and then try and make some friends or try and show off a little bit. And I was the only one warming up on the track, and I was so embarrassed about it. But that's really how I started to be friends with those upperclassmen. That's kind of where that kind of clicked, and I met them, is when I guess you would say they were laughing at me.
Well, look where you are now. So I think
Yep.
whatever happened, it must have worked, right?
Yep.
That's awesome.
What about the bus?
Oh, the bus.
Long road trips.
Yep. I think the most fun bus rides are the ones to GREAC down in Minneapolis. The 3 hours that we have, we just kind of get bored, and some things go on in that bus, and whether we're playing card games or whatever, everybody's smiling, or we stop at a restaurant and on the way back, and we all just have fun, talk about what we're doing, and I can't really think of like any specific
Sure.
stuff on the bus.
All right. Well, so we talked a lot about your race history last year and all that. What can we expect, coming up this spring and heading into the fall season next year?
For this track season, I'm going to still run the 3200 and the 1600, but I think I've talked to my coaches, and we're going to try out the 800. I mean, I'm not the biggest guy ever, but I think I could. My goal is to be like under like 208 around there. I mean, I'm not going for anything crazy, but for the 1600, I have some big goals for that. My previous PR is 442. I kind of want to be somewhere around 430, maybe a little bit under. And for the 3200, my PR right now is 1005, and I want to be somewhere 945 to 940, somewhere around there.
Those are awesome goals.
Yeah, that's no joke, man. That's fast, and you're on an upward trajectory. So the amount of work you're putting in, no doubt that you're going to be able to reach some amazing stuff, man. That's super cool to hear.
What's your favorite event?
I'd have to say the 3200, because I just like sometimes you'll have a little conversation with the runner in it, and it's just so fun to, I don't know, I kind of like running the 8 laps around. Some people think I'm crazy, but yep.
Yeah, I used to love the 3200 back in high school. That and the 4x8.
Yeah, some fun races.
It's better, when you get to indoor track, like on a 200-meter track, it's 15 laps for a 3K, man. That
Oh yeah.
you get dizzy.
So much counting.
Oh yeah.
But awesome. Well, so that's your indoor track season, and then cross country coming up. What do you like better, track or cross country?
That's a hard one. I think for like the amount of people in track, I think I'd have to choose track because of all of the sprinters that are upperclassmen or they're in my grade and just get to see more people at the meets. But cross country, definitely for the races. I mean, cross country races are so fun, and I feel like there's a different view of pushing yourself in a 5K than in a 2 mile or 1 mile. And I just think I like the longer races better, and yeah.
Man, that's cool. It's definitely a different dynamic, isn't it? With the trying to score points on a cross country team feels a little bit different than on a track, when you're all racing at the same time versus split up between all these different events. So a little bit of a different dynamic, but I think, yeah, both definitely have their pluses and minuses, right?
Oh yeah.
Perfect. Well, now I got to ask, getting a little deeper. Do you have tell me about your teammates. Do you guys have any maybe like mini rivalries in your team, or guys that you're like, oh man, I really like being competitive with this guy, or people around your skill level?
There's one, last year, my 8th grade track season. His name is Ben Vandenberg. I think he got 11th in the 3200, and I got 13th, I believe. And we've been going back and forth that whole track season, and it really grew a friendship between us two, and we started to hang out more. But then we were rivals on the track, and kind of like frenemies, I guess you would say.
That's awesome. Ben, gotta get him on the show sometime.
Yep.
So is he is he planning on running the 32 a lot this year as well then, to run it back?
He was a senior last year, so now he's at Northern State.
Okay.
Yeah, Northern State or something like that. I can't remember the exact name.
Yeah, that's up in Aberdeen. They got a pretty great program. Actually, a pretty notable graduate recently. Her name is Dakota Lindworm, and she is a huge marathoner now, actually, and won Grandma's Marathon, and is having a super successful career already. So, yeah, definitely a great program up at Northern. So he should be good. Should be in good hands for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, Rod, you got anything else for us here?
I was just gonna ask, since I was in high school, gosh, it was like 2011 to 2015. So, none of us really had any GPS watches. We didn't necessarily always track our mileage, and maybe we would go 30 to 40 miles in a week, and now I feel like a lot more research and attention is given to track and cross country. Your training is a lot better. So just how do you guys, how much work do you put in week to week during the regular season and during base building? Do you guys strength train necessarily, or do you do any stuff outside of that time to better yourselves?
I think what you said with the watches, that really helps. I mean, going out and tracking your miles and seeing what your heart rate was that day. My coaches have talked about next cross country season, they were going to track our heart rate, and you would run at this heart rate for this long or whatever. And we would do strength training after, or bands or anything like that. Lots of stretching and lifting with our weight coach at the high school would be 1 or 2 times a week. During the track season, it would be I think it was 2, and the distance runners would weight lift this day, and then next day would be the throwers, and then the sprinters or whatever. And we just kind of went into a rotation. In cross country season, we got some new assistant coaches because our old assistant coach had moved to Rapid City, and they had a new thing. There was 5 workouts, and they go in rotation each day, and we do those. One day it'd be abs, and then the next legs or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah. How do you view strength? Is it kind of I just got to get through it, or do you actually enjoy it?
Yeah, I'm kind of just got to get through it, Not the biggest guy ever.
Yeah, us runners, it's I run because I like running, not because I like doing that other stuff. So you just kind of got to swallow the pill and Just got to do it right.
Hmm.
Gotta get it done.
Yeah, Rod,
Well,
you've been.
what have you been running in lately?
What was
Oh,
that?
sorry, Derek.
No, go
What
ahead,
have you
Rod.
been running in lately? Your go-to shoe, maybe for your daily runs or your workouts. What's your preferred spike?
Um, uh, so a couple years ago, I used to run in like A6 or whatever, just to starting out like new man on track. And then I went to 605 running and kind of looked at some shoes. And I think it was Benson that looked at my form, and I looked at New Balance Fresh Foam 1080s, I think it is. And ever since, I have like 6 or 7 pairs of those. Those are my everyday kind of running shoes. And workout days or like long runs, long tempo runs, I'll use Nike Tempo. And then for shoes for track and cross country, I'll use the Vapor Flies in track, and then cross country something fives for cross country races.
Sounds good. That's awesome. Yeah, you like the Vaporfly a lot.
Oh yeah, my friend suggested it to me. He let me borrow a pair of his in a mile, and I really liked them.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rod and I, we've been kind of testing out all sorts of different super shoes recently, and it's like they're all getting so competitive now, all so close, and I think a lot of those other brands are kind of closing the gap on Nike, to be honest. So it's cool that there's a ton of options available now that make it really fun, especially with different foot shapes and all that good stuff. So never been a better time to be a shoe geek right now. But yeah, the 1080 though is. Do you have the newest iteration? The one because I know for a while they were kind of like a sock upper, right?
Hmm.
They moved away from that a little bit. Do you have the newest one?
Yeah, I do. I think I bought them in Minneapolis because my shoes were really bad, and I don't know if they didn't have them at 605 running or something, or if they were out of stock or something, but I had to buy them in Minneapolis, and I got them there. I got the newest ones, and I just love them. I mean, every time that's my go-to.
Right there with you. That used to be my long run shoe, so plenty of experience there for me too. But cool. Well, Rod, do you have any other burning questions for Mikah?
Oh man, off the top of my head, no, not really. For cross country or for track for state, what are the qualifying times for the 3200?
I don't know if they go by qualifying times. I just think that they pick out the top so many kids. But
Okay.
next summer, I am planning on going to Oregon for Nike Track Nationals.
Oh, awesome.
I think Simeon Birnbaum will be there, and some other kids from South Dakota. And so South Dakota distance running is definitely having a takeoff. We had I think it was a 4x4 team go down to Nike Track Nationals last year. So I'll try it out this year, and I think the qualifying time for the 3200 is around 9:50 for freshmen,
All right.
and the mile is like 4:40. So hoping to get under that.
Yeah, you're knocking on the
Yeah,
door, man.
definitely within reach.
No doubt. Yeah, have you had the chance to run with any of those guys, like Simeon, or run across them at all?
I ran into him and Grady Luce, if you know him from Rapid, and we traded jerseys after the state meet or whatever, took some pictures, and I talked to them for a while. They're really nice people, and we talk on the phone sometimes, and some people from Sioux Falls I'll play like Xbox or something with, and it's just a great environment with all the distance runners.
Man, that's so cool. Like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, you're going to different schools and you're competing against each other, but seeing everybody succeed, like, that's huge. And like wanting everybody to succeed, man, there's nothing like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've been
building
talking
that.
to each other and like motivating each other and telling each other our goals, and it's definitely a good relationship.
Yeah, that's really awesome to have.
And like on that point is like, with Simeon, breaking 4 minutes in the mile, like he's setting a precedent like, oh, hey, that is possible. You know, we can do that. South Dakota, we can produce great runners, and it's just a matter of putting in the work and doing it. But I think having somebody set that example definitely like opens up the door. Like, man, maybe I can do it too. Why not me?
Mhm. Yeah, he's definitely a big inspiration to me and many others. And I think a big part of being a good runner is to be a good person. And he definitely fits that. I mean, every time I've talked to him, he's been very nice and uplifting.
That's awesome. And I got to ask, um, you gonna rock the speed goggles like him, or
I've thought about it. I mean, it's kind of his thing. I don't want to steal a show there.
that's true. That's true. I got my own pair, but I've had them for they're old beaters, but
Oh, yeah.
it's hard when you got prescription. You're kind of limited. Cool. Well, I think that's all I got as far as track and cross country is concerned. So we asked moving forward, what's your cross country going to look like? What's track going to look like? Um, have you given any thought to 10 years from now? Do you think, oh, maybe the half marathon might be fun? Maybe the marathon might be fun someday. What are your thoughts on those?
I've definitely thought about like half and full marathons, and my dad used to be a half marathon runner. I mean, like not like competitive, but just doing the Sioux Falls half or just something like that. And he's definitely been an inspiration to that. My dad recently read a book on college, like how to reach out to a college coach or something like that. So I'm definitely planning on running in college, and I definitely want to make running a part of my life after college. I mean, it's just so fun to do, whether I'm running races or not. I'll probably still be running.
Man, that's good to
That's
hear.
awesome to hear.
That's kind of what Zenith is about. Is like so much goes into running in high school and college, and if you've been putting in work for those 8 years plus middle school even, that's a long time to be running at a high level. And then you graduate high school, you graduate college, you get a job, maybe you start a family. A lot of times running can take the back seat. So Zenith Endurance, that's where we're like, okay, well, let's, for those that want to keep on going, let's give them that platform, give them that opportunity. So obviously that's way down the road. You got a lot of other stuff to focus on, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, we want to give that opportunity to people like you who are like, yeah, let's keep going after it. Let's we graduate college, like we want to chase after trials times or whatever. We think South Dakota deserves that opportunity to like foster an elite field of runners, and we think that they exist, and we want to give them opportunities. So I think the future is bright, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. I've been really focusing on grades and keeping everything up outside of running too. I mean, this year I've really been focusing on it, and recently I haven't been having the best grades. I mean, like all B's, I think, 8th grade year, but this time I really focused and I managed to pull out a 4.0 halfway through semester. So
Very
I mean,
cool.
that's really been helping.
Congratulations. What's favorite subject, least favorite subject?
Oh, I think my least favorite is biology. My favorite's got to be math.
I got to ask then. Do you crunch numbers while you're running a lot?
Uh, like, what do I think about when I run?
Like, oh, if I run at this pace, then I'll finish at this time. Those
Oh, I see
types
what
of
you're saying.
things.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
check the
I mean,
splits all the time.
it definitely runs through my mind. Uh, Definitely usually in track, like in a race, I would when I'm running around the circle and get to that timer and see, oh, I'm at 110 first lap. Is that too fast, too slow? Where should I be at next or whatever? And um, yeah, definitely doing that. A lot of stuff goes through your head when you run 10 miles or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Do you when you're out there, for 10 miles, do you listen to music or do you just go solo or do you like running in groups with the team or when in the summer do you run alone? How does that happen?
When I get the chance, I love to run with my team. I mean, sometimes we'll carry a backpack with a speaker on it and play music in the background of us talking or whatever. And when I'm by myself and I can't get with anyone else to run with, I'll just put my beats on and turn my playlist on and get going.
What's your go-to on the playlist?
I like R&B. I don't know. I think I'd have to say Daniel Caesar if you know who that is.
Man, I'm too old. I don't know. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, definitely a new generation singer.
What about on the treadmill? Do you watch anything? Just listen.
I watch shows. Like sometimes I'll start a new series on Netflix and I'll just put my phone up on the window or whatever and get running for one episode or whatever, how long. And yeah, I'll watch YouTube or whatever.
Nice.
Who's your favorite YouTube like running content creator?
I like Nick Simmons. I actually eat his run gum before every single race. So
Nice. I haven't tried that before. That's like the caffeinated stuff, right?
yeah,
Awesome.
it's a caffeinated gum. Uh, some people don't like it, but I mean, it's helped me, and uh, I've done it since eighth grade. So,
Cool. He always like invites people onto his show, doesn't he? Like to compete in different events.
oh yeah, and I think I saw on his Instagram story him playing Fortnite with Aaron Solomon or something like that. So he definitely gets involved with the younger generation.
That's awesome. He
Yeah,
seems like a pretty genuine, cool guy. I love that just like, yeah, show up at the track and let's do this, unique style race. So it's super fun and engaging. I love checking out his stuff for sure.
oh yeah.
Would you ever like, let's on a whim, we're on a family vacation. Let's go check it out and join along, man. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, I definitely would. I mean, he gets prizes for whoever wins or whoever's the youngest one there. I mean, why not take a chance?
And you already got the run gum, so like you're a step ahead for sure.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, um, I think that's everything I had though on my list. Rod, you got anything left?
I don't think so. I think we got a lot of great stuff in there.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, we really appreciate your time today, Micah. It's been a pleasure getting to chat, getting to know you a little bit better. I'm glad you're able to share your story for everybody to hear. Yeah, so if there's anything else you'd like to share with us before we head out, anything you'd like to, like your social media handles, if you want to drop that, you certainly can. Um,
Yeah, Instagram Micah.p. Uh, post some really good posts on there, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
You're
thanks
welcome.
for coming on, Mikah. It was great to meet you.
All right.
You
Well,
too.
we're excited to continue to watch your journey as you grow and progress. We're really excited for your future and what everything has to hold for you. So, want to thank everybody for tuning in today, though. This has been the Zenith Endurance Podcast, Episode 3. We'll catch you next time.